to welcome everyone for joining us on the Business Owner Spotlight, where we get to know local business owners who are providing outstanding services for the local community. And we just get to learn a little bit more about their business and how they serve people in unique ways. If you're a business owner who is either wrestling with trying to do your own QuickBooks or payables or anything like that, or you have a bookkeeper that you're frustrated with or just not sure what you should be expecting, you've really come to the right place today, because we have the pleasure of talking with Dale and Aron from Firm Numbers. And that's something they specialize in. And I've known Dale going on a year now. And he's just, what they do for a company is just really impressive to me. So I just wanted to take a minute and let Dale and Aron introduce themselves. So let's do that, and then we'll get started with our conversation today, fellas.
Hi, thank you so much, Mike, for having us on. I'm Dale Hauer with Firm Numbers, and I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Hi, Mike. Thanks as well. My name's Aaron Schultz, and I'm in Savannah, Georgia.
Well, thank you guys for joining us today. I'm really glad to have you here. You know, it's not often I get to talk to people in different states, but that's just the age that we live in, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm glad to have you here. So, you know, let's get started. Why don't y'all tell me just a little bit about your business? I did a little bit of an introduction, but, you know, I think our viewing audience would really like to hear it from you.
Mike, Aaron and I got started. We were coaching small law firms, and we realized that we were working with business owners that had seven-figure businesses, but they may have financials that were not conducive to running a business. They may be great for doing your taxes, or they may not have financials at all, but they needed some financials that helped them as a business owner to make good business decisions. So we launched Firm Numbers a little over 2 years ago to do that for small business owners.
Yeah, that's really great. Gosh, I see that all the time. I can't tell you how many business owners I have run into over the years that they just don't have good financial information. As you know, I'm a business coach, so my goal is to help a company go from where they are to where they want to be. And the most important thing that I need to know, number one, is where do they want to go? But number two, is I have to have good data. And if I don't have good data, it's really hard for me to help them. And it's equally hard for business owners to help themselves if they don't have good data. So I have a full appreciation for the type of service that you guys provide. Maybe you can just share a little bit about, you know, what type of businesses have you found that you serve, you know, really extremely well?
We primarily focus on the small business market. And by small business, you know well that business owners have a lot of hats that they wear. So this would be for a business that is small enough that they don't really have the capability of bringing in somebody full-time that has real capability to take care of their financials and keep their financials in great shape.
Yeah, and that's hard to do when you're running a business and then sitting down at the end of the day or on a weekend, trying to do the business numbers yourself, put all that data in there. And a lot of, I know you've probably run into this, I know I have, most people just aren't trained on how to correctly put things into an accounting system, and it can create quite a mess. So I've seen some interesting things over the years, to say the least. Well, let's talk a little bit about what differentiates you. You know, there are lots of bookkeepers and bookkeeping services out there. Maybe I'll take it a little different direction. What are you finding that business owners really need in terms of their bookkeeping that they're not getting, or that they don't do? What do you find commonly is missing or isn't at the level that it needs to be?
You know, a business owner really needs to know what's going on in their business financially. They need to know where their money's going. They need to be able to see what the trends are, and they need to have consistency in their financials. And a lot of them are not getting there. What makes us a little bit different is we approach bookkeeping from a business perspective. So having been in business for a long time, being business owners ourselves, we understand what the business owner needs to see in order to make informed decisions about their business.
Yeah, that's really well put. Having a business owner's perspective, that's a real challenge. I know sometimes when I talk with bookkeepers or accountants who are serving some of my clients, they almost see it as a widget. I have to take this piece of information and put it here, and they don't tend to ask questions. You know, there's a difference between vehicle expense and vehicle maintenance. But from one month to the next, they might put the same expense in vehicle maintenance, and then the next month they put it in vehicle expense. And the list goes on and on and on because they may not know why that matters. To me, I see a $200 or $300 difference from month to month, depending on the size of the business. We're digging into why, right? So Dale, you've had some great answers so far. Maybe we should ask Aron to chime in on some of these. I think the next question that comes to mind, and you kind of touched on it a little bit, but what are some of the things specifically that you do or provide? I know that when we had talked earlier, I've heard you talk about chart of accounts and how you map the vendors in a business and some other things and some of the updates that you provide. Maybe Aron, you could share a little bit about that side of your service and just how that helps the business owners.
Yeah, definitely, Mike. So this is definitely Dale's wheelhouse, but he's done a great job, or we've done a great job coming up with a chart of accounts that fits small businesses. You know, it's not applied to all. We want to look at the business when we start to onboard them, but take our chart of accounts, get them onboarded to a chart of accounts, because what we've seen over time is the business may have 10 accounts, 10 bank accounts, 5 credit cards, and that's fine. We're not telling them to shut down their bank accounts, but how are they organized? And are they organized in a way that makes sense? And are they named in a way that makes sense? And then also with expenses, just like with your example with the car maintenance and car expense, we want the labels to make sense, but we want consistency across the board in a sense, so we can be efficient, right? So we can provide value to all of our clients, because one thing that we do focus on, and Dale will probably touch on this later, we want our clients to have numbers so they can make decisions. These are small businesses, as we've been saying, and a dollar needs to go a long way. And most bookkeepers, in our experience, we're not going to say that this is all bookkeepers, but in our experience, we see that our small businesses, they don't get their financials reconciled and in their hands until the 15th of the following month. But what we like to do is every week, they have a day every week where their transactions are being posted, confirmed, and reconciled, and then they get a copy of a P&L and a balance sheet, so they can make those decisions in the moment, if you will, or in real time with a lag of 7 days, which is much better than a lag of 45 days, which happens with most bookkeeping services.
Wow. You really hit on something there, something near and dear to my heart, because a lot of business owners will get their P&L emailed to them. They don't really know how to read it because no one's ever sat down to explain it to them or how their expenses are categorized. And then if they're only getting that information once a month by the 15th, how actionable is that, right? When it's in the rearview mirror. I don't know that I've really talked with anyone or know of any other bookkeeping firms who are providing weekly P&L or that weekly feedback. And that's just mind-boggling, because I guess it's good for your business too, though, right? Because you spread your work across the month instead of having this big rush at the end of the month. Does that help your business as well? It
does, and I'll let Dale explain more if he wants to. But what it also does, along with spreading the work across the month, it also allows us to, and I think what we're telling at this point, Dale, is by the 5th business day, we have their whole month confirmed, reconciled, and their finalized reports by the 5th business day, which if they're clients that are really, living the numbers and reading the numbers, it shouldn't be surprise to them because they're looking at them every week, but it's good to have those finalized, reconciled reports by the 5th business day every month.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. That's one of the things that we continually hear from our clients, is that they appreciate the timeliness of the reports that we give them. And because we're reconciling their account every week, they don't find a surprise that is not pleasant at the end of the month.
Yeah, that's really good feedback. And that really kind of segues into one of our last questions. Tell us what your clients love about you. What types of feedback are you getting? I'm sure it's some of the things we've talked about, but what are the maybe 2 or 3 things that you found that the clients that you serve appreciate the most?
I think that they appreciate the business perspective that we bring. So they're getting financials that for many of them for the first time have really allowed them to see what's going on in their business, allowed them to make informed decisions, and allowed them to project what they expect to have happen in their business. The timeliness is particularly good for our clients because then they can make real-time decisions with real information.
Yeah, wow,
Yeah.
that's really cool.
And also to include, I mean, we're a fixed fee, right? We're going to give them a fixed fee. It's not going to change. We will do month to month. We don't want to lock people into a relationship that doesn't work on both ends. And to build on what Dale said about having the business perspective, we also have an ear for our clients. You know, we're not going to turn down not a coaching call, but a call to go through the financials, a call to really understand the chart of accounts, or why is this number here? Why is it there? We're going to take that time to lend some of our insight that we have gained over the years as well.
So if I hear that right, that sounds like you're also in the education business. You're really coaching your clients and teaching them and equipping them how to understand their financials, not just as a set of numbers, but what those numbers can tell them about the past, present, and future of their business so they can make informed decisions, right?
Yep, correct.
Yeah, that's really rare. I don't see a lot of that.
Yeah. We've helped a number of our clients sort of organize their financials because a lot of times they aren't able to see what's going on and they're living hand to mouth and moment to moment. So by giving them perspective, we help them reduce their debt, improve their cash flow, and increase their profitability.
Yeah, there's a lot of business owners out there who, when they don't have the right financial data, at the end of the day, they're really managing and leading their business on hope, and hope isn't really a strategy, right? So I do see quite a bit of that. Well, just from my perspective as a coach and working with a number of businesses, this isn't something that I hear every day being provided in terms of a service. So help myself and the viewers just understand, how are your fees compared to everybody else? I mean, are you way up here, or you comparably priced to other firms and you just add a little bit more value, or add a lot more value?
Well, we are not the cheapest in the market, but we're not the most expensive. We like to feel that we provide real value for the money that we receive. And as Aron said, we look at a prospective client's financials. We look at the complexity. We look at the number of accounts. We look at the number of transactions. And then based on the volume of work and the complexity, we give them a fixed fee. And that is the same month to month. It doesn't change for at least the first year. So they know what they're going to be paying. And if there's cleanup to be done, we'll give them a fair estimate of what's involved in that and a fair price, and allow them to pay it over time. So in many of our clients' cases, they've not had good financials for a period of time, and we have to go back and correct some stuff for them. So they found that to be very helpful too. It also helps them to reduce their CPA fees at the end of the year. If the CPA can receive some financials that are clean and ready to go, they don't have to spend a lot of time doctoring the financials in order to be able to do their taxes.
It's a really good point. I hadn't actually thought about that, but you're right. If everything's tied and ready to go, you're going to pay less of that CPA fee, which can be they can be a little bit more. Let's just put it that way. One other thing I would add, I would find it interesting, and I question my clients on things like this. I would find it interesting if you want the cheapest, least expensive bookkeeping arrangement that you can get. I've heard people say, if you're going to get your cataracts removed, or eye surgery, or heart surgery, or something that's vital to your existence, probably don't shop for the cheapest. You want the best. And when it comes to your business, if your books aren't right, the stories you could tell, I'm sure, are endless if we had hours. The stories that I've seen from people who put the letter CPA after their name, or not the stories, but the examples that I've seen of just really shoddy bookkeeping with people with CPA after the name, it's been pretty amazing. So I encourage people, don't shortchange the investment that you're making in the management of your financials, because good decisions can make you a lot of money. Bad decisions can cost you everything. So I certainly have an appreciation for that. Well, that's been really helpful. Is there anything else that you'd want to add? One question I like to ask sometimes Are there any tips that are especially, timely this time of year that people need to be paying attention to right now? And then anything else that you'd like to add for our viewing audience before we sign off?
Well, Mike, one thing that we are trying to talk to our clients about is the need, especially after coming through the economic times that we're coming through and in the middle of right now, is the need to budget. Because if you don't have a good budget, you're basically running your firm without a roadmap. You wouldn't take a trip that way. You really don't want to run your business that way. And particularly with so much unknown out there, it's even more important that you're able to think ahead and project what you think your business is going to do and put together a plan that you can actually operate against to improve your budget, improve your profitability, to protect your bottom line. So we're really pushing our clients to start thinking now about budgeting for next year, and even at this time of year, perhaps redoing their 2020 budget to reflect the changes that they see happening to their business right now.
Yeah, that's really great advice. With a number of my clients back in March and in April, we actually did reforecasting because, and anybody who's listening, if you haven't done this already, you want to look at what your sales and expense run rate was pre-COVID-19 and take a look at the last 30 days, 60 days from existing customers, new customers, and just see if that run rate ties out. And if you're still on the same trajectory that you were before this thing hit. Some businesses are doing better. Some are doing much worse. Some business owners aren't quite sure. They're getting as much activity. What's happened is the price points have come down. That's a normal thing during a recessionary period. The activity might be there, but the average sale goes down. So right to Dale's point, if you haven't taken a look at your financials and rebudgeted this year, great time to do it. And Dale and the folks from Firm Numbers would be a great resource. Their information is provided here at the end of the video and across the bottom as we scroll through. Any questions that you, any other comments that you'd like to add or things you'd like folks to know right now?
Aron?
I don't think so. I don't think so, Mike. This has been great. We appreciate it.
Well, absolutely. It's wonderful to have people on who can add value to the business community. And I'm sure that I didn't ask you guys this before, but I'm sure if somebody wants to talk and find out what you do, you're not going to charge them for that phone call or that interaction, right?
No.
Great.
No.
So how about that? A free kind of checkup to see how you're doing. So if you're not sure where you are or what your books look like, these guys will give you a free second opinion. Well, gentlemen, I really appreciate you taking the time to be on the Business Owner Spotlight series with us and just help educate our audience. And we'll look forward to doing it again in the near future.
Hey, Mike. Thanks for letting us do this. Have a great day.
Mike, thank you so much. We really appreciate this and the opportunity to share.
Well, guys, it's been great to have you on and just share your knowledge. And let's look forward to putting some more information out there that people can use to make their businesses run more effectively. And have a great day.
Thanks, sir.